entanglements. There's only tangle in the shades, entanglements. There's only tangle that would make entanglements. There's only getting into deep.
Guys, it's me. So many of you have seen my last video where I brought my best friend Brenna on to talk about open relationships, and we've got a lot of great feedback, so thank you guys for that. But one of the biggest things that we got was that you guys wanted us to have a guy on to discuss his perspective. Due to time and scheduling difficulties, as well as me being underneath the weather, that's where the puffiness comes from. We weren't able to actually have a guy sit in with us, but I was able to have a conversation with a friend of mine who is very familiar with the topic and brings the male perspective. His name is Mike, and our conversation that we had was amazing. So much so, in fact, that it prompted me to start a new segment under Hershey Me called Talks with a Grown Man, where we're going to discuss different topics, and probably it'll be more of like we're talking about the things that I have conversations with. Either it's just videos with me or videos with my girlfriends. So just like follow up from the gentleman. So I'm super excited. I have some other videos lined up, some other gentlemen who are on board, and if you're interested, guys, drop it in the comments, slide in the DMs. So I could set up a time and we could do a Zoom or something like that, but we could go ahead and definitely get this series going. So without further ado, I'd like to present my homie, Mike. Ladies, listen up. He got some interesting information. Gentlemen, you too. Thanks, guys. See the video that I did with Sabrina, and the conversation was about open relationships. And the feedback that we got was that people wanted to hear a male perspective on the topic.
So being the unusual person that I am, a lot of males confuse poly. Let me back up. Let me back up a little bit. First off, they need to learn the terms. There's polyamorous and polygamy. Both, those are two different terms, and neither one of them mean the same thing. Polyamory is only legal in Utah, and if you are a Mormon, in some sects of Mormon, meaning you have different wives or many different wives. And even with that being said, with a lot of ways, what you can have, they have different wives, but they take care of their family. So even if, like Mr. Johnson had his family across town, he was taking care of his kids. He was over there handling business. He was just over there smashing every now and then. Some kids are taken care of. Being poly and having different relationships, poly and pussy, they don't go together. Just like I heard the conversation with you and Brina, and talking about swinging. Those are separate issues.
That's what I said.
That's a whole separate issue. You do have poly couples that attend swingers parties, but that's not the definition of a poly relationship. You can be poly and be single. If you and your significant other decide to venture or try to be in a poly relationship, and see if that works for the both of you, that just don't mean you just out there smashing everything. There are rules to the game, and nothing should be left to where, okay, it should be understood. No, you need hard lines. You need to know what you are able to deal with as a person, both people. What you can and cannot deal with, what you will and will not deal with. And if a person crosses that line, then they fucked up.
But I mean, isn't that the standard in any relationship? Like, if you don't have that, you
That is,
definitely shouldn't be doing poly anything.
you need to have a strong standing in your relationship of who you are, and even I'm saying, and even then still, okay, people adventure out and they try different things. That's I'm saying. That's what makes life life. I'm saying worth living. So if it's something that you feel that you want to try, as long as you are good in your relationship, you shouldn't enter into a poly situation saying thinking that that's the fix to your relationship.
Mm.
Then it's not. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, from what I get and from what I know, your foundation has to be strong. It has to be secure. If it's not, then you're still gonna run into the same problems you would have in a monogamous relationship.
Exactly. So being poly doesn't fix it. It's just like I said. There's different versions of poly.
Okay, so let me ask you this
There's,
then. And I'm asking you this, not that I don't know the answer, but I know other people have the question, which is, what is the point then? Like, if poly, whatever, because we know there's different polys, but if
okay,
poly is about multiple, then why be in a relationship at all? Why not just be single and do you?
because some people it don't want to lose those significant relationships and or that significant person.
Mm.
And if you can maintain and being, I mean, being poly is actually it's a lot of work. It's not to maintain multiple relationships on multiple fronts and make the person that you're with and not with at the same time feel just as special when you're with them as you're not with them. That is work. There are not people out there that are built like that. Not many people that are built like that
Mm-hmm.
and can maintain those relationships.
So, I mean, because what it often makes me think about is like when you think about like the biblical definition, right, of like polygamy, like its intention was in the first place, which was that like if you had a brother and your brother died, you would marry his wife
Right,
in order to take
right,
care of her, but you had to be able to provide equally financially, spiritually,
right,
sexually, across the board.
right, right. Exactly. And that's it. And that's where, again, a lot of dudes confuse poly with pussy, polygamy with pussy, because that's not. It's not just a. You're saying it's not just a smash game.
But it's
You
not
have
just
real
men that
people. You
confuse
have
it, it's women that confuse it too, which is why a lot of women are opposed to it. A lot of women think,
because
oh,
a
you
lot
just
a
want to be
lot of
able to
women
go out and fuck who you want to
a
fuck.
lot of women and a lot of women are opposed to the idea because you have dudes out there that aren't they don't think that women that there are women that can say, hey, well, in a video, hey, long as you tell me what you're doing, we cool. You know what I'm saying? Long as I ain't blindsided about some shit, we cool. Long as I ain't got somebody knocking on my front door, we cool. I don't want to trouble. I don't want to what them phone calls. Hey, do you know we cool?
Mm-hmm.
So dudes are still out there sneaking around doing that fuck shit when all they gotta say is, hey, this is what's happening or this is what I got going on. And it's again, depending on the relationship, I got something to do tonight. I got something to do this weekend. Instead of saying that, they still out there, you saying bending corners, looking for tree jumpers when they ain't got to. When they ain't
Okay,
got that to do.
yeah, that I agree with. I agree with. Um, I do
So it
think,
fucks up the concept with a lot of women.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Because if I can't trust you to fuck off and just tell me the truth, then I can't keep saying. So the next dude come up to me and be like, because I've had that conversation too. Women have been in that situation with like, hey, You can fuck off. He could have fucked off. All they had to do was tell me. And he fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So they never want to enter into that type of relationship again. So now you out there again, you looking for that one person.
Yeah. But that does work for some people, though. That does work. Monogamy is a thing for a reason. That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, when it comes to poly, like, I'm interested to know, like, for me, I know why I'm considering that lifestyle choice, right? Because it's easier on my spirit. You know what I mean? Based on previous relationships. So right now, that's what I'm exploring because that's what works for me. However, like, I'm curious to know if, like, that's something that you've always felt, like, you've always known, like, nah, this monogamy ain't for me. Like, what is the, like, what, you can't speak for everybody, but it's like, what makes someone like yourself say, no, this is what I want? Is it just, you just know that you're not, that's not really what you seek? Or is it, it's an option, so you're going to take it?
I think for me, I was introduced to it. My first introduction to it, previous relationship. And it's like, hey, we did this. And I was like, what? Matter of fact, the question that was asked of me was, hey, if your girl cheated on you, would you leave or give them another chance? And I was like, fuck her, I'm out. But as the conversation went on, and then years later, I was like, okay, I understand. Even prior to that, I had met someone. I was like, and they were poly, and I was like, and just for me, for knowledge, I was like, why would you want to share the person that you're with? I had questions, and the person kind of got mad at me. He was like, this is just, I mean, they didn't give me no reason. It was like, this is just what we do. Well, that didn't answer my question. But in my relationship and asking that question and us, you know what I'm saying, sitting down and talking about it, about what was happening and what was going on, I was like, okay, I understand it. So it was at that time, I was introduced to that life choice. And I was like, okay, it's something I'd be interested in. But even then, still finding and not being a part of that community, because you'll find people that say they're interested in the, I guess, more so the knowledge aspect of it, but not interested in exploring that as a lifestyle choice. So to find a person that's actually capable of adhering to the rules that y'all set forth and actually being in a poly relationship, and you have to be able to feel. You can't say, okay, this person is out and I'm just sitting at home twiddling my thumbs and like, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad. No, you're human. You're saying you might feel
a way.
Get that a way about that. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be allowed to feel. You have to be allowed to express that openly. Not only about your sexuality, you know what I'm saying, the sexual escapades, but you have to be able to express how you feel about everything. It's not just open. The relationship is not just open to another person. It's as if, period. You have to be open about everything.
So you can't hold back how you feel about it.
Yeah, and you don't have to argue about it, but you have to be comfortable enough and with that person or those people, depending, to be able to express yourself openly and not to take that some type of way. Even say if I was to say, hey man, I feel some type of way about you going out with old boy. Don't take that as if, okay, I don't want you to go. or you know what I'm saying, I want you to stop seeing that person. Because if I want you not to see that person, then that I should say I don't want you to see that person. Say exactly what you mean, exactly what you feel. So again, there's no blurred line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of people do, forget in those situations. They forget about all that other shit. They're most like you got a whole other person, a person in front of you. Just like if you were in a monogamous relationship, that is a person. Those are feelings. They forget about that. They got pussy. They got pussy. Sorry, I'm at it. Smash. That's not what it is.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I guess
I'm gonna keep saying that, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Pussy and poly, it's not the same thing.
The definition of entanglement. It's when you're tangled in the sheets.